The stream fucked up for literally a second. But I think I got it back. We were talking about the show, Barry. Luna says the last show I even know for live action was maybe Punisher. I haven't actually seen Punisher. I've heard it's good. I've also heard it's a major downer.
Yeah, I don't know if I would...
You seen Punisher?
I've seen some stuff from it. I won't say something, but towards the second season...
You can spoil it for me if you want. I don't mind. I don't really have intentions to watch it.
Like, I know towards the second season, he gets, like, you wouldn't say an apprentice, but, like, somebody who's with him sometimes. And the show,
sidekick-esque character.
Kind of, yeah. If you're calling it a downer, it would become less of a downer, because it's like, he suddenly doesn't, like, do what he used to do anymore. Like, I won't go into, like, too many, like, terms, but there's one part where they, like, come across this guy who's, like, sex trafficking. And, you know, the Punisher's whole thing is like, oh, I kill him.
Yeah, brutally. Punisher's brutal as shit.
He doesn't even do that. He just kind of, like, beats him up. And he's like, oh, don't do it again. And he, like, waves his finger at him. So, I mean...
Punisher? That's kind of weird.
At a certain point, it does kind of feel like it was in that era where they were thinking about maybe working them into the MCU, so they kind of, like, toned it down a little bit.
Do you play any other games, by the way? Yes, I do. I play a bunch of different ones. We're actually currently, well, not now currently, but on the streaming
Minecraft
list.
All the time.
Welcome to my Christian Minecraft server. But we're doing Sally Face currently. I was thinking about going through God of War Ragnarok here soon too. So, like, we got stuff on the list. The second I get enough money to buy Jedi Survivor, we're going to be streaming that. I've seen, like, the intro to that game, and just like the first game, the second I saw a little bit of the intro, I was like, I gotta play it. Have you touched Survivor yet?
No, I thought about it.
It looks good. Looks real good.
I was gonna play through the first one again, so I was really thinking about buying it when it came out. And then I just remembered, like, all the problems I had with the first one, and then the second one, like, it got good reviews for, like, the story and everything, but performance-wise, it was not running good on release and still doesn't run great. So I was like, okay, I don't mind waiting. Like, I'll play it eventually. But
I'm rather pumped for it. How did you meet Lux, if you don't mind me asking? I went into it a little earlier. I don't know if you were there when I talked about it. Sebastian actually asked how I met Beck and Elvish, too.
Not just them, it's just all the Australians in general. Seems like there's a disproportionate amount.
There's only 3! There's only 3 Australians in my life. Well, and their families. Like, I know Elvish's mom, I know Beck's mom. We're all buddies. So, the way me and Beck met was... God, this big creepy creature is right there. So, the way we met was... Beck saw one of Elvish's streams and essentially decided, I really want to be friends with this person. So Beck started hanging out in the chat, and eventually, like, the rule we have with people in the chat joining us on streams is hang out for a little bit, watch our stuff, let us get to know you, and then once we do, you can pop up in streams and stuff. So that's kind of what happened with Beck. She started popping up in Elvish's streams, and I started popping in too. And I actually ended up dating her roommate for a little bit. But me and Beck grew very close. We ended up talking a lot, and we're great friends now. Like, I love Beck dearly. So yeah, we actually met through streaming. Come on, walk in the lava. Walk in the lava, you big dumb guy. No, 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 don't shoot me with your plasma blast.
Is that new?
Yeah. He's a new guy. This whole area is new. And I'm out of food! I'm wearing iron armor, and he killed me in one hit. Jesus. He's the hardest boss in the game, by the way. Which is why I'm not really trying to fight him. If I was, I'd get a bow or something and try to do it at a distance. Wild. Yeah, well, we got to know each other. We got very close. She's my buddy. We've had chats and stuff. Like I remember I think when COVID hit at its hardest is when we were probably talking the most because you couldn't really go out much. You had to socialize with like people online and stuff, and I think that's when me and buddies. Oh my god, this panda is crying and has a runny nose. This is the most important thing I've ever done. Pet the panda. Hug the panda. Armor doesn't mean anything. I guess it doesn't in this case. That fucker one-shotted me. Don't worry though, my plan is literally to just go back down there and get my stuff and then come back up. That's why I stayed near that wool. Because I'm pretty sure I know where that is. I'm not even gonna fuck... Well, I'll get a little bit of food before I get down there. During that time, it never changed much for me. I mean, a few things changed for me when I was at the COVID heights. I remember, I think you mentioned at some point, Sebastian, that since you're very introverted, not a ton changed for you during that time. If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I also had the fortune of like developing a tumor right at that same time.
Yeah, you went into surgery around that time.
I mean, the week I or not the week, but
The week Caleb graduated is when we found out about it. I remember because I found out during his graduation.
it was the last week of July. I want to say it was like the 19th or something of July is when we found out.
Which, by the way, happy ending to this chat. He did get surgery, and it is gone now. So, happy ending.
But then I got the surgery the first week of August because I didn't want to do it. I wanted to leave the emergency room.
Oh, no. Okay.
But no, the like a few weeks after COVID started is when that all happened. So that was part of why it went undiagnosed for so long. Because when I tried to see a doctor, they just wanted to test me for COVID, even though I told them, it's my head.
Luna says I'm introverted too. Could have fooled me. You have been chatting with us a lot today, and we're complete strangers. I welcome you to the audience, Luna. I hope you hang out more. Hope we see you again. Not like that asshole Pat. Wherever the fuck he is. You've met Pat a few times, right?
Yeah, I think he didn't like me one time because I assumed he was young based on his voice, and then he said he was
Pat is
older.
the oldest of us.
Yeah.
I don't think he disliked you, if that's something you're worried about.
It's never something I'm worried about.
I remember one day he mentioned thinking you were cool. But maybe he has bad taste, who's to say? I'm picking on you a little bit this stream. I apologize if I hurt your feelings at any point.
Yeah. I'm
You're incredibly
extremely depressed.
sensitive, as I'm aware.
It's been a really rough week.
I can text
And
him.
this is what sends me over the edge. Is this guy who I met a few times on the internet maybe not thinking I'm cool.
Oh, I thought it was me picking on you.
Well, it's all part of it. Everything.
It's all boiling up. You see, the funniest part is he did actually think you were cool. Okay, I do not have food, so... Oh, fuck, that is the worst thing that could have happened right now. So the plan is just get the fuck out with the stuff I have right now. But unfortunately, since it's currently in hot pursuit, we kind of just have to run. Maybe we'll stumble across another chest, hopefully? Oh no, but we stumbled upon the... Or, fuck, my words. He's coming back, is essentially what I'm saying. Criminy. Texting and by voice is different. I can text a lot just fine. I'm kind of in a similar boat. I'm not really... I wouldn't call myself an introvert. But I do find myself getting decently shy, specifically with new people in real life. That being said, though, if I have my buddies there, I'm pretty good at just still being good old extroverted Kneale. Look at all these candles. I want these candles. Have you played the game since they added in the candles?
I think I've played since they added candles, maybe.
Then I think they were from the most recent update, if I'm recalling correctly. So you might have played it.
I'll tell you.
You might have played it from its most recent.
Actually, never mind. That's not going to be accurate. Never mind. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure when I last played.
By the way, thanks for hanging out with us this whole time, Luna. You are currently the only person in the chat. Meaning you're currently the king/queen of the chat. It is your domain. Or you could be a president or even an emperor if you want to be. That's up to you.
The Walking Dead just ended a few months ago, right?
Hmm.
That's a problem I had with The Walking Dead, is at the end, the Commonwealth. I'm not sure how far you got.
I finished it. Caleb got me into it. I did finish The Walking Dead.
Okay, so yeah, then the Commonwealth.
Hmm.
If you have your own settlement, why would you make yourself governor? That's the stupidest thing in the world. Because that means there's somebody above you, but there is nobody above her. She just wanted to give herself the title of, like, why governor?
Yeah, do what Ezekiel did. Make yourself the king.
Or if you're gonna, like, choose positions that we have now, just call yourself president, because that's, like, effectively what you are.
I don't know. I think president still just isn't as cool a term as, like, king, queen, emperor. Like, if you could be one of the terms, which one would you want to be?
That appeared in Walking Dead, or that's appeared in history?
Just a term of power. Like, would you want to be a president? Would you want to be an emperor?
Well, see, the answer I want to say is a pretty dicey answer.
Dictator?
No, no. It's much, like, cooler, but in, like, a really stupid way. But but it's just the context of it is unfortunately really bad.
I don't. I don't know if I want you to say it.
Yeah, I won't, but they're really stupid names in like a silly way, but it's just the group that uses them is unfortunately not a
Um,
super PC group.
I think I know what you're talking about, and I will agree. I think if I know what you're talking about, I do agree they have a stupid name. I've always thought they had a stupid name.
But I like the names a lot. And it makes no sense for them to use them, so I really wish they wouldn't, but it certainly wouldn't be governor. In no world would I call myself governor.
I feel like I wouldn't mind king. I feel like king's a fine one. Uh, God damn it, this big fucking beluga. Um, maybe like I don't know. I was about to say Master Chief, but that's like not an actual title. Um, you know what? I'm not greedy. I'll be a lord. I think a lord would be cool. Lord Kneale sounds neat.
That would be a count.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I would dress like a stereotypical vampire, and I would convince everybody in my settlement. It would be like Ezekiel, like everybody
Yeah, I
would
didn't
just
think
like
so.
talk normal, and then I would be like a really stereotypical like bad accent vampire, and that would be my Walking Dead settlement.
Hello and welcome to Count Sebastian's zombie settlement.
I'd wear a cape.
You have fake fangs.
Like
Everyone
this.
knows you're not a vampire, but you don't know that they know you're not a vampire.
I had an idea, and I'm really upset. Like I genuinely, it's not exactly what I had the idea for, but it's similar enough where I don't feel like there's room enough for both to exist. But I had an idea for a show that had like a similar premise, not really, but like kind of similar.
To The Walking Dead?
No, where just like one of the characters would just be this like really stereotypical like out of place like vampire, like really like bad costume.
Oh, do you think
But
that's too similar to what we do in the shadows?
yeah, then a show came out that was similar to that. Again, like not the same premise at all, but like it's close like enough where it's like I feel like even just vampires, I can't pursue my show now.
I feel you. I'm writing this like fantasy story I want to work on, and I'm kind of writing it as if it's going to be a show one day, which, in all honesty, it probably isn't. But that's how I chose to write it. And every now and then, like Skylar actually has given me a lot of good feedback on this. Skylar has been like, "Hey man, even if your ideas are a little similar to other people's, it's okay as long as you really work with it and do something original." But I gotta be real, every now and then I will just go back and rewrite something because I'm like, this was too similar to this other thing.
Well, yeah, I know that mine is different enough. It just irritates me because I remember the first time I wrote this down was on an iPod Touch, which the only time I've had an iPod Touch was like even back before I got expelled, so I would have been like young. I just thought it was a really funny idea. And I know that it's different enough, like Breaking Bad. The guy who did Breaking Bad, he said he didn't know if he should even pitch it to people because he thought it would be too similar to Weeds, even though they're not similar at all, but it's just both are crime shows. Well, that's kind of how mine is, where it's like they're not similar at all, but both are vampires. And mine's not even like really vampires, just really one.
Is he a real vampire?
Yeah.
I
But
kind of
it's
like
meant
the
to,
idea of there
you're
just
meant
being
to question it. Like it's
You're supposed to
meant to not
doubt
know.
his vampirism.
Yeah, I can talk more about it off stream, but I like the idea enough where I'm not going to talk about it on stream.
My brother has entered the room.
Okay, so a thought that
Caleb.
lives rent-free in my
Caleb is
head,
here.
and it's gonna live rent-free in yours too.
Get closer to the mic, so that way it can live
can hear
rent-free in everyone.
Okay, in Star Wars,
Uh-huh.
Episode 1,
Uh-huh.
Darth Maul just appears, you know, he's going on his speeder.
Uh-huh.
Anakin's just a random little boy running, and he just says, "Ayo, fuck that kid," and tries to run him over. Right off the bat, Darth Maul comes in trying to commit vehicular homicide on a child. He didn't know who Anakin was. He just saw a random little boy running in the desert and said, "Ayo, fuck that kid," and tried to run his ass over.
He was trying to kill Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. I just watched that.
Apparently, Sebastian just God damn it. Sebastian just rewatched it. He was trying to kill Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Because they
He
messed
was,
up
but
Palpatine's
he
plan.
just straight up almost ran Anakin over.
Well, think about all the good Darth Maul would have done
Anakin
had
was
he
a slave.
succeeded.
His
That
life
is
didn't
correct,
matter,
but he
but
didn't
was
know
trying
that.
to kill a Jedi.
He can't tell the future. He just saw a child running and was like, "Alright, fuck that
Well,
kid."
his life didn't matter to Maul.
He's like, "Alright, fuck that kid." Doesn't that rub anybody else strange?
I mean, well, I think...
Who
I
just
don't
sees a
think Darth
fucking
Maul
child?
cared. He's a bad guy, Caleb. He's a bad dude.
I mean, who just sees a fucking child and is like, "You know what? I'm gonna run their ass over."
I mean,
That's the pure
I do that with
definition
old
of
Been around
chaotic
children
evil.
before.
I do that with old
This
people.
man had no reason, would have gained nothing out of it. Actually, probably would have lost.
Like, Caleb,
the element of surprise,
Caleb,
and
hold on,
decided,
just-
You know what? Fuck that kid.
Caleb,
It's worth it.
chill out for a minute. Hold on. Have you ever just seen, like an elderly person? Just
You know,
walking on the
I
street?
have not had the
street.
desire to either run over or kidnap an elderly man.
Well, why not?
Because I'm a normal human being.
I feel like that is a lot of judgment from what you just said. And I feel like until you either A, mow down an old person with your car, or B, kidnap an old person with your car, you shouldn't judge people.
I'd rather not.
Well, then you can continue to live your life of ignorance, and I will continue to murder old people.
You
And
know
we can
what?
just both live those two lives.
I think we can agree on that.
Yeah.
You
See?
do you. I
Happy
do
ending
me.
for us both.
Exactly. Oh, I'm gonna now, Pierce.
So, yeah.
Oh, by the way, thought I'd tell you this now.
Should I mute?
No. they can know. Fans on my car aren't working. I'm gonna take it to get worked on tonight.
So, no air conditioning for the trip. Yeah.
So, overheating if we stop for for more than 10 minutes. Yeah. Air conditioner still works fine. That's a different fan.
How's the bumper of your car?
It's not very sturdy.
How is the speed of your car?
Not very good.
So, if we were to theoretically hit someone at age, let's say 90.
It probably wouldn't be an instant kill. Too many crumple zones.
Okay, so we need to shoot for 100?
We need something a little bit more bulky. That's all I'm saying.
You don't even need
Get me a-
speed. You can
get
just
me a
like
pickup
push a
truck.
90-year-old over.
Yeah, Sebastian's saying we could theoretically just kind of bunt a 90-year-old with the car and maybe,
but it would be more
maybe
like
gravity would do the job.
it would be more like kicking a soccer ball.
Luna, I don't actually kill old people, for the record.
That's just what he's telling you.
I mean,
But if you were
That's
going
just
to,
so the lawyers don't
you
get
wouldn't need
involved.
that much speed.
It's not about killing the old person. It's about the art of killing the old person.
I'm going to my room and I'm going to bed. Good night.
Good night.
I'm not actually going to sleep. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Fuck off.
Alright, fine.
That's Caleb. He got a little cameo in this video. Here's the thing, Luna. Some people don't know I'm joking when I make that joke. And by the way, just for the record, if you are, chat, Sebastian, anybody, if you are ever in a car with me and you are driving and I see an old person, expect me to say your name in kind of a serious, dramatic voice. Like, for example, with Caleb, I will go, Caleb. And then once you hear me say your name in that way, expect me to try and persuade you to run over an old person. Obviously, I don't want you to actually do it. Or do I? I'm not going to bed. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Caleb has no idea what he's gonna do. He's in the void now. God damn it. I keep dying and losing all my tools. I know exactly where they are, too. So now that I have some fucking... Now that I have some fucking berries, we're gonna go down, we're gonna get my stuff again, and this time, since we got some good shit, we're gonna focus almost solely on evac. We're gonna get in, we're gonna get out. Creeper! Fucking tits, man! Jesus! That scared the shit out of me. Are we okay? We all okay, chat? Did you get blown up? Oh, god damn it! I just want to go to sleep. Let me sleep in the craft. Oh, god fucking damn it. This is a hassle. Okay, that one's got to be real close to death. I've been punching the shit out of him for a while now. Oh yeah, the creeper's coming. And another zombie. Why not? Okay. Anything I can kill him with in this chest? Well, I have a hoe, but that's it. Let's grab this pickaxe. Okay. Did he pick up the pickaxe? He did. Fuck. This is gonna be funny for you, chat, because it's going to be an epitome of my failures. I don't know if that's going to entertain any of you except for Sebastian. I know he loves it when I fail. Is this on PS3 or PS4? PS5. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Fuck. How many deaths is that? How many deaths is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 deaths by the zombies. And we're not done with them yet, either. I just want my goddamn berries. Come on, I've hit you so many times. You have to be nearly dead now. Oh yay, there's more monsters down here. Come on, please, damn it. Alright, this doesn't have PS5 version yet. What? Minecraft?
It's not a native PS5 version. Like, you're playing the PS4 version on PS5.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that. Then I guess I am playing the PS4 version. My bad. You think they're gonna release a native PS5 version?
I don't know. I would think so, but like they haven't done a next-gen version for Xbox either, so...
I mean, Bedrock kind of seems like the basket they're putting all their eggs into, so I kind of doubt it. Okay, chat, we've made it. I have my pickaxe for defense. Our goal is just get in, get the shit, get out. That is our mission. So if we succeed at that, today will be a good day. I've been playing Bedrock. I think this technically is Bedrock. Is that skeleton wearing diamond pants? Those have to be from me. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. At least those fucking berries are still there. At this point, we're just gonna keep dying until I get the stuff. I have hiccups now. Another thing I can talk about, because I gotta think of shit. I own a judge's gavel now. Again. Were you there when I used to own the old one?
I believe so, yeah.
I have another one now. I got the first one from a church yard sale. I have I have no idea how they got a judge's gavel. I'm not sure who donated that, but probably a judge or someone who robbed a judge. But I got that one, which was engraved, and it was nice, and it was kind of big. It was a nice gavel, I guess. I got the pants, so now we have diamond armor and an iron sword. This is nice. The reason I brought it up, though, is have you ever been to, God, I don't want to say the specific name, but there's a flea market here in this town of Muncie. Have you been to a flea market here?
Not in like years.
So there's one, and I took Skylar to it, and now Skylar's a believer. There's this one that just has the weirdest shit and some really cool stuff. Like, if you go to the back of the store, there are weird statues and like old-timey stuff. It's a flea market, so obviously there's going to be some very outdated and even racist stuff in it. But towards the front of the store, there are anime statues, including the guy from like Assassination Classroom. There's replicas of swords from anime, like they even had some from like Sword Art Online and Demon Slayer, which are animes I've seen a bit of Sword Art Online, not in forever, but I've seen a bit of that one. I haven't seen shit on Demon Slayer. Honestly, it's kind of a sick store. I'm not even gonna lie. I recommend you go there. You'll find some weird stuff. I found, and I haven't bought this yet, but I plan to next time I go there. I found a book version of the movie Scream, but it is written in the style of a Goosebumps novel, and it's literally like a Goosebumps book about Scream. Don't kill me. Did he even see me? Run! No! Fuck! This is what happens when you have enemies that can one-shot you. I need to catch up on Demon Slayer. I have seen none of it. You seen Demon Slayer?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Are there any animes you watch? I know you and me are kind of the two people in our friend group who are not super into anime.
I mean, I don't like. Again, it's just, I just don't like. I don't spend a whole lot of time watching much of anything. I'm not like opposed morally to anime.
And yet you've watched all of Walking Dead, which surprises me a little bit.
I watched Death Note like years ago.
I still have never seen the Death Note anime.
When it's over, I'll probably watch Attack on Titan, but
I've heard both good things and awful things about Attack on Titan. So I really wonder where I'm going to end up lying on that scale. I've also heard My Hero Academia has gotten pretty good. So I might have to return to that at some point. I stopped after season 1 for Attack on Titan. Was that any good? In my opinion, the best part of Sword Art Online... I mean, you saw that one. In my opinion, the best part of it was this abridged series that was done on it for YouTube. I didn't hate the anime, though. Apparently there are people who think it is straight up the worst anime ever made.
I watched a season or two of it. I didn't love it.
You were into it for a little bit. I remember we talked about it, and we both seemed to like it.
Yeah, if I'm remembering right, I think I liked the first season, and then whatever happened afterwards, I didn't enjoy as much, and I stopped watching.
The first season is them trapped in the MMO. Then the second season is like somebody who worked with the guy who made the MMO, made a new MMO, and they're not like trapped in it, but Kirito, the main character, I think his name is Kirito. He couldn't find his girlfriend, Asuna. So, like, he goes into an MMO to find her. The plot there is kind of dumb. But then the third one is, like, a brand new MMO that's, like, a competition to get money. And then the last one is just kind of, like, character one-off-ish episodes with, like, a short arc in it. It's different. It's weird. What were you saying? What should they do?
I say my two ideas to like breathe some life back into Sword Art Online is they do a finale season where it's another MMO, of course, but in the style of Club Penguin. And then Kirito meets his online girlfriend, and it turns out to be like a 60-year-old guy.
Well, they do actually meet, and she looks exactly like her avatar, just like how Kirito does.
That's not as fun.
Well, I think they establish it in Season 1 where it's like, oh, well, we're going to disable the avatar thing and make it where everyone can actually see each other. I like SAO, both abridged and the actual one. I like SAO too. I think it's okay.
If that's how MMOs actually worked and you had to look like yourself, I mean, I know they're already not like a super popular genre, but nobody would play MMOs if that's how they...
Yeah, there's no escapism at all at that point. One of my favorite lines in the abridged is actually, it kind of plays with what you were saying, where there's these two guys, and it happens in the actual anime, but the abridged takes a different take on it, where there's this guy holding his girlfriend, and it turns out that the girlfriend is a guy, and it turns out that the guy who was holding the girlfriend, he's actually a fat dude. He's not, like, buff like the girl thought. So in the abridged, the dialogue goes, "You're a fat guy, and you're not a girl at all. I'm okay with this, so am I." And then you just hear a voice in the background go, "Love has no gender!" That had me laughing my ass off for a good amount of time. I play MMO and I'm a cat. Oh, do you play the Final Fantasy MMO? I've actually never played that one. You and I used to be pretty into MMOs for a little bit there.
Yeah, 14. It is the Final Fantasy one. It's pretty good.
It's still going, right? They're still adding stuff to it?
Yeah, the game director for it is the guy who's doing Final Fantasy 16, so I'm pretty excited for Final Fantasy 16. That'll probably be the next game I buy, like new, but...
I'm trying to think of, like, the MMOs we've done. Obviously, we did Warcraft. The most recent MMO I've played is actually either DC Universe Online or Pirate 101, because when I had a roommate for a little bit who, his whole thing was like, oh yeah, like I've, fuck, this guy's right here and I can't see shit. Let's run this way. His whole thing was like, yeah, no matter where I go, no matter how much I travel, like his whole thing was he kind of bounced around. Pirate 101 is there, and it sticks around, and it's free. And I was like, you know what? That is kind of a perk of MMOs. They're kind of always there. Except for the circumstances where they're not. We've lost some great MMOs along the way. Pour one out for Fusion Fall.
Fusion Fall, and Toontown, and like a lot of like old like City of Heroes.
Club Penguin.
There are people like community-run servers who like decompile the code and keep it going.
Oh yeah, Fusion Fall is technically still going with that, but you know what I mean. Like, it's not officially still a thing. Like, I can't go on Cartoon Network's website and access Fusion Fall. I remember the big ones we got into was Star Wars: The Old Republic.
I still like play.
You still play it?
Sometimes. Yeah, that's part of the reason I'm gonna get a desktop soon, so I can.
Is that one still going?
Oh yeah.
Well,
That
I mean, like,
is,
do
in
they
my
still
opinion,
update it?
Yeah, that in my opinion is the best piece of like Star Wars like story that's out there.
But you haven't seen Andor yet. Oh, yay, we found the stuff. Well, some of the stuff. At least we got the diamond armor back. That's good. I do think you'll like Andor. It's just really good. It is basically what if Star Wars did Game of Thrones for a little bit. I haven't played Final Fantasy XIV. I guess of all the MMOs, the one I've probably played the most is DC Universe. But I've never finished it either.
Final Fantasy is good. You just like.
Didn't you and I beta test that game?
No. The first like stretch of story, like before you get to this like the expansions that came later, like they're far superior. Like I'm not saying that the first story's bad, but the stuff that came after, and I haven't even played all of it because it's one where you have to have like a monthly subscription, but the stuff I have played is much better than like what like the first like kind of arc is. But yeah, it's good.
I had a thought. But I'm forgetting it now. Fuck. Come on, brain. Bring back the thought. Luna says, I've played it. All of the stories it builds up.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly which one I left off on. I have to look, but yeah, my memory of it is all the like the downloadable ones that came after, like the expansions were a lot better than the original.
I think with DC Universe, I keep revisiting that one. Mostly because it just kind of holds up. Like, depending on the weapon you choose, your character has a different way of attacking. Depending on the powers you choose, your character has like a whole skill tree of stuff they can do. It's very entertaining gameplay for me. I can't remember what I was going to say. I think it was about a game you finished, but I can pivot. Stormblood, Stormbringers, Heavenward, asks Luna.
It was either Heavensward or Shadowbringers. For sure one of those two. I think if I had to guess one, I think Shadowbringers. But if that's the most recent one, it wasn't that one. Because it's been a little bit since I've played.
I'm kind of excited for the new Final Fantasy. I want to play the remake sometime soon. Once I get my PlayStation Plus back, that might be one of the things I end up streaming.
Oh, 7?
Yeah. Well, another thing I wanted to stream is 14. Is 14 the one with the boys, or is that 15?
That's 15. 14 is the online one.
I just love the boys so much, and I haven't played that game all the way through. Like, I know I watched you play it for a little bit, and then I kind of, like, followed some of the stuff on YouTube. But I am in love with Gladio, Prompto, and Ignis. Like, I love those characters so much, so I really want to play that game.
Yeah, I played 15, obviously, and then the 7 remake, and then I couldn't bring myself to finish Crisis Core.
Oh, God.
But I am excited for 16. That was one thing that me and the Elvish Laddie talked about after that last time I streamed with you guys was Square Enix.
You can just call him Elvish or Elvie. It's less of a mouthful. I call him sexy, but that's just for me. You can also call him sexy if you wish, though. But only if it's your deepest wish. I don't know what it is about the game, but literally, like, I think I like it for reasons that are different from everybody else. Like, I think most people are like, oh, it's a cool Final Fantasy game. Oh, it's got all this, like, cool story stuff. And the reason I like it, I shit you not, is because it just kind of feels like Vacation Simulator, the game. Like, I like all the camping scenes. I like all the heart-to-hearts. I love the dialogue you can have with the 3 beautiful boys.
Do you know how it ends?
I do know how it ends.
Somewhat. That's why I like it. That's why I like it.
It confuses me a little. Like, I know a bit. Like, I do know the majority of the story of the game, but it's been so long since I've, like, done anything with that game at all that, like, when I play it, I do think it's going to feel kind of like a first experience still. Just because I remember it so vaguely. Like, there's some stuff I know, and there's some stuff I definitely don't. Like, I forget the name of the main character entirely. I think it's Noctis. Yeah. Isn't there a movie I have to watch to understand the story of the game or something?
I mean, there's a, like, prequel, like, that's set, like, right before the game starts. It's just the city getting attacked. It's got a solid cast, though. Like, they should have just put all the money into the game. But... like, it's got, like, Scene Bean, Lena Headey, Aaron Paul, I believe.
Darren DePaul? Do you mean Darren DePaul?
No, Aaron. I mean, he plays the villain, I believe, but Aaron Paul, like, from Breaking Bad, is in the...
Apparently the movie is just so you know what's going on with his dad, according to Luna.
Hey, I'm catching up on some of those old messages now. So I've been in Overwatch. It looks like it was probably Shadowbringers. I've been wanting to replay that too. Not 15, but 14. Just because it has been a while since I played it. I was going to Platinum 15 when I played through it, and then it just got to be too much of a time sink for me, personally.
You got kind of close though, didn't you?
I believe so. It's been a couple of years. That's how a lot of it goes, though, is I'll get really close on a game, but then I don't, like, because this is supposed to be, like, my hobby, so I'm not going to, if I'm not having fun, I'm not going to force myself, as much as I enjoy the trophies. So there's a lot of games that have, like, 70, 80%.
You have forced yourself through it a couple times, though. Just because you want the trophy.
It depends. Like, if I'm not enjoying it and it's going to be like a big time sink, I won't. But if I'm not enjoying it and it's like, okay, well, I'd only have to do a little bit more, then I'll push through it. But
See, I don't really platinum stuff, period, unless it's really good. Like, my only... Or if I do it by accident. I think the only games I, like, 100% in my brain, I'm like, yes, I got all the trophies for that, was South Park Stick of Truth, Spider-Man PS4, the SpongeBob games, but I'm obsessed with those. Like, those platformers were my childhood. I think that might be it. There might be one or two other ones, like, probably some of the Telltale ones also got platinumed as well.
I mean, those, all you have to do is finish them.
Mm.
But, like, you just mentioned South Park, that's a good example. South Park Fractured But Whole, I'm missing literally one trophy on. And because it's on the new PlayStation Plus. So I downloaded that with the intention of getting it, and then I just decided, like, okay, I don't want to, like, even though it would only be, like, 20-something hours, it's not something I want to spend time doing. Just
Yeah,
trophy.
I kind of feel ya. I personally prefer Stick of Truth to Fractured But Whole. I think the gameplay of Fractured But Whole might be a little better, but, like, I don't know. The story for the first one was just really good, and the jokes were much funnier, in my opinion.
I've got, like, I think...
Villain's better, too.
Around, like, 115, though, just because I like trophies.
Oh, God. This
In my
big
opinion,
fucking guy.
The best, like, achievement system for all the platforms. I mean, I don't even think Nintendo has, like, an achievement system, but...
Some games do. Luigi's Mansion kind of had an achievement system. Luigi's Mansion 3.
I remember wishing, when I played Three Houses, which, again, I have my Switch out, because I was going to start playing it the other day, and then I ended up having to, like, go with Haley somewhere. But I was going to start Three Houses the other day. I remember the first time I played that, really wishing it had some kind of, like, thing like trophies, just because I absolutely would have gone for whatever the equivalent to a platinum would have been, because I like that game so much.
Still pissed the main characters in Smash Bros.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, he's just kind of nothing. Oh.
I think the character is called Byleth.
Yeah.
I finished Three Houses the other day, says Luna.
What route did you go?
There are far more what?
I was going to say there are far more interesting characters in Three Houses than Byleth.
Yeah, I kind of wish that if Fire Emblem was going to keep just pulling these random characters, I kind of, like, if we have to have all these Fire Emblem characters, if we have to, I wish they'd at least, like, go through and be like, this one would be very interesting to play as. I know that Byleth has, like, a cool sword whip thing, so, like, I don't know, maybe that's why they went with it, but I don't know, man. Luna says route, question mark?
Yeah, like, there are 4 total. You go, like, I think it's Golden Deer, Blue Lions, and then the Black Eagle House has 2 different routes you can go down. Basically just endings.
Are there multiple endings in that game?
Yeah, each so there are 3 houses, like the name implies, and each house, like, dictates your story, and then if you choose the Black Eagles, they have a hidden, like, path you can take if you meet certain requirements.
I see. What house did you pick?
I did Black Eagle, and I did the hidden route my first time, unintentionally.
Oh, God. That fucker's gonna blast me.
Since you also did Black Eagle, the two routes with that are if you have your relationship with
Yeah.
Edelgard up to a certain point, um, before a certain date, you can choose to ally with her, or the standard Black Eagle route is your like Edelgard, and I think his name's Hubert. They split off.
I ended up putting an in to Adel. Didn't realize she's that what redacted. Is that part of the game?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I she's just they're trying to just hiding a spoiler pretty much. Yeah, I went with Edelgard. I best girl. That's the romance I went with for that playthrough.
I've been hearing good things about the game. What's the
It's
story?
really good.
Give me a little
So
taste of the story. Give me a taste.
the setup is you're the son of like a mercenary, and the mercenary, if I remember right, is like hired at this school, but then they need a teacher, and since you have like combat experience, you get to be a teacher, but you get to choose which house you want to teach, and then so the first half of the game is like you're building relationships with the like people you're teaching, and then there's a time jump, and all the because each house represents like a nation. Like there's three nations on this continent, like three kingdoms pretty much, but they
Okay.
all like attend school. Like it's a neutral ground, it's a monastery that they all learn at, and like then there's a time jump towards the end, and everybody's like aged up, and they're all at war. Uh, really solid game. I like it a lot. Like I said, I've been wanting to play through it.
I've been wanting to use my Switch more, so like, this is kind of on my radar now. The last time I used the Switch like extensively was when Luigi's Mansion 3 came out. Me and Caleb, because it has co-op, which is so fucking cool. Me and Caleb did a playthrough of that together. You could stream it? I have no idea how to stream stuff on the Switch yet, but maybe one day. I only just figured out how to do GameCube games and shit during streams. And that had like a buttload of issues we still had to figure out. That is why Luigi's Mansion is unfortunately on hold. Which sucks, because after I finished Luigi's Mansion, I was gonna do another GameCube game. I was gonna do Chibi Robo next.
You use an emulator, right?
Yeah.
There is a Switch emulator that is pretty good,
Oh really?
but Nintendo is trying to shut it down because every time they like release a new game within like a day, it works perfectly on the emulator, and it obviously like will perform better on the emulator versus the Switch. So most people like if
Mm.
they are aware of the emulator will just choose to emulate it.
Weirdly enough, I looked up some of the laws about emulators to make sure I wasn't gonna like have to face down with Mario when I streamed Luigi's Mansion. Turns out, if you own a copy of the game, emulating it is legal. And I own both Chibi Robo and Luigi's Mansion. So those were two things I was pretty okay with streaming. I don't have a capture card, and with my shitty Wi-Fi, I doubt I could even use one right now. Maybe one day though. There's some white whale stuff out there. If I ever get big enough or get the money where I can afford such things, I definitely will. I would love to stream Xenoblade Chronicles one day. That would take me 40 years, but I'd love to do it. Basically losing money on the game that's released it, yeah. That's how it be. Oh, by the way, I think you'd probably like Guardians 3. It's not like I had a couple critiques with it. I don't know if you would give a shit about the stuff I had problems with though. And it's pretty damn serious. Like there are some hard scenes to watch in that movie, and there are some gory, bloody things in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So, like, I think you'd get into it just because I know you've been hoping that Marvel would take itself a bit more seriously for a while.
I'll watch it eventually. That's, I guess, the one benefit of my rewatch taking so long is by the time I finally get around to Marvel stuff, like, all that will be on Disney Plus. Uh, but I just really don't like Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I don't think he's bad in the movie. I don't love Chris Pratt in general, and I do think he's a bit oversaturated right now. But, like, I think he's okay as an actor. I don't mind his acting at all. Alright, chat. I have decided that we are going to explore. Now, before we go exploring... Exploring? Before we go exploring, we're going to build a big-ass tower. Just so we don't end up losing this place again. So, let's get a bunch of bricks. Fuck you, spider. By the way, collectively, even though this stream is only an hour, since I had to restart, I think I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. You joined at the beginning. How long have you been in the party?
I joined in at like 11 something, I believe. So, yeah, about 3 hours.
Damn. I think I'll pull at least another hour. I know I was like, this is going to be a really long stream. But, like, now I'm getting hungry. And I have to eat food and things. But I'll go at least another hour. Gotta build a big-ass tower. Do I have enough stone to make, like, an axe? That would make this whole thing quicker. I do.
I will be right back. Before I start something else, I'm gonna go put my dog out really quick. Just 'cause it's been like a couple of hours.
Alright.
Good stopping, or not stopping, but a good little pause point.
I should probably do my daily soon. In what game? In Final Fantasy or in Overwatch? Because I know we were talking about that a little earlier too. Or in a different game. Ah, Genshin and FF14. I see. Oh, fuck! I'm in the water. Help! Someone get a goddamn lifeguard. I've saved myself, so the lifeguard was not necessary. But just know that if I couldn't have saved myself, it was a lifeguard's fault. Oh, god fucking damn it. Oh, you fucking zombie-ass piece of shit. I have the sword this time. We're not doing ring around the rosy like before. You fucking spidery motherfucker. And despite me losing a lot of my materials, we still did, like, get a good chunk from that city. Stuff that's gonna help a lot. Like, I'm pretty sure these are very helpful enchantments. I do think I might stick with this world for a little bit. We'll see. Like, not 100, but we'll see. Well, guys, you got me. Creeper, creeper, creeper. No, it's near the chests. Oh, my God. Why? Why did I say that it was lucky that I got all this stuff? Okay. Let's just unload everything back in the chest real quick. Get out of my inventory. Wait, did it blow up my iron sword and shit? Oh, okay. No, it's still here. You jinxed it. No, everything's okay. Everything's fine. Everything is great. Everything is grand. Got the whole wide world in the palm of my hand, baby. It's fine. It is all okay. I should lay my spawn back down, though. Oh, I think someone's knocking on my door. I'm gonna see what that is. I have returned, chat. And I have learned things, so I think the stream might only go on for another 30 minutes or so. We'll see. I'm interacting with humans now, so I might have to go do stuff soon. But we'll see. We'll keep it going for a bit. Okay. So, I wish I wouldn't have died when I had that fucking compass. That would have been helpful. Could I kill? Could I kill this Enderman? Could I kill? I'm going to attempt to kill Enderman. No, I'm in the water. You can't hurt me. You're an Enderman. You fear this. Oh no, he jumped straight in the water. Wasn't expecting that shit. Welcome back.
Can you hear me alright?
Yep. You sound like a human.
I'm going to try turning a fan on low really quick. Then when I get back to my chair, I'm gonna ask if that is like getting picked up heavily.
I doubt it will unless you have like a super powerful fan like my fucker.
No.
Is it on now?
It's on now.
Yeah, I can't hear it at all.
Okay. I need to get my air conditioner put in. But I've not done that yet.
Our air conditioner actually broke yesterday. A hose or something came loose, which we gotta get that fucker fixed fast, because you know how the summer be. I do actually hear the fan a little. If it's pointed straight at you, if you just move it slightly to point a little downward, that should fix it. But if you don't, it's not like a big deal either. It's not like loud.
I'll walk over to it and move it. It's not pointed directly at me. I mean, it's because I was just gonna move it real quick and then I'll explain a little bit. It's kind of tough to explain.
Anyone who just got that stupid little joke I did, I love you.
But it's on my like table, one of the tables beside my bed. So it's pointed like towards Like if I'm laying in my bed, it's pointed more towards my like waist area. Like it's pointed like towards this direction, but not like directly up
You're
towards where my
fanning
TV.
you're fanning your dick currently?
No, if I'm laying like if I'm like I'm sitting in my chair, like up by my TV. My bed
Mm-hmm.
is like behind me. When I lay in bed, the fan, like it's not pointed directly at my face. I have it pointed towards my like lower chest, waist area. So
Okay,
it still
so
gets like the upper part of my body, but it's not pointed directly at my face. So it is like kind of in this direction, but it wasn't like directly at me.
I see. I see.
Because like my headboard, like the back of my
Mhm.
bed and my TV are on opposite sides of the room, like parallel to each other.
When I said, "Are you fanning your dick?" an image popped in my head because like that stereotypical image of like people with fans, like paper fans fanning a king. I thought of that, but just the king has no pants and they're just fanning his penis. Yes, subjects. Make sure my genitalia does not get too hot. I prefer a cool penis in the great day of our kingdom.
Yeah, I have like I think this is the first time this year so far where I've had to have the fan on during the day. Sometimes like I'll have to have it on at night, but
The weather has been so fucking weird lately. Like, oh, I'm about to sneeze. I have sneezed. Um, but ooh, a village. Let's go rob that. Um, the weather yesterday, or it might have been the day before, very recently. So I woke up, and thank you, Luna. I woke up and it was fucking freezing. Like it was really cold. I'm mostly okay with the cold. Like I don't really mind it, so I was fine. The other people in this house couldn't take it. Like it was so cold that people were waking up because it was cold. So we turned the heat on. And by the way, just to exhibit just how truly cold it was actually hailing as well. So it wasn't like, oh, you and your family are just pussies. Nah, it was pretty cold. And we never built that tower. God damn it, Kneale. Well, I know the general direction where I need to go to get back. Whoa, that's a cool mountain. But to finish that story, we turned the heat on. We went back to bed. 2 hours pass, and it's the sunniest day of the year.
yeah, we had that weekend in April where it was like 70 degrees. Um, so I was gonna put my air conditioner in that weekend, and then like that Sunday night, it just got to be too late, and I was like, okay, well I don't want to mess with this at night. I'll just wait till the morning, and then it went back to being like cold, so I was like, okay, I'll wait. But I think now we're at a point where I'll probably just do it either later today or tomorrow, because I don't like being hot.
I much prefer to be cold than hot. Apparently, I'm in the minority on that. Apparently, some people, like most people, prefer to be hot rather than cold. But I cannot stand being super hot. Whereas when I'm cold, I can kind of deal with it. Like, Chad, if you want a fully functional Kneale, it cannot be when it's super hot out. I am useless to you if it is way too hot outside. I got spread. So here's a little Kneale trick. This is how I get all my emeralds. I just go to the village, I get all of their wheat, and then I trade it back to the villagers for emeralds. Which I always find hilarious to do, because I am not only stealing this wheat from the villagers, but then I'm giving it back to them for profit. Like a bad, evil businessman. That's me. God, there's so many villagers in this village, despite it being kind of a small village. Kitty. That's another thing. We can tame kittens if we want to. While we're here. I do hope when I get my my PlayStation Plus back, you play in this world a little. Because it is kind of unique. Like, you start in a jungle at the top of a tree, and then there's a mesa to the left of you. There's, like, some gravel. I found this village not too far from the spawn. That ice mountain is right near the spawn, too. This is kind of a cool world scene. Oh, and that fucking, like, weird Underdark stuff, or whatever it's called. That's right there. And that's usually kind of hard to find. Where is chest? There is chest. Oh, by the way, you weren't here when, so while you were gone, I found out that, like, Caleb might need me to do some shit. So, like, here at about, let's say, 12:30, 12:40, I might have to get off. But I might stream again later today.
12:30?
Oh, at 2:30. My bad. Time. I'm not good at time. It is well past 12:30. I mean, maybe if I was wherever Luna was, I believe she was 3 hours behind us when we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, she's on Pacific, so it'd be like 11.
She or he. I don't think I got
they.
your pronouns.
I'll do they. That's a
Luna.
safe one.
Yeah, I apologize for that. I'm killing this chicken out of principle. Die, sheep. So what have you been up to? What goes on in the everlasting tale of the Sebastian Chronicles?
I mean, not much lately.
No murders?
I've just been kind of slow.
Me and Caleb are going to Michigan soon.
Why?
You remember Christy?
Not vividly.
She was in the chat of some of the streams you were in.
Oh, yeah, okay, so it wasn't somebody I knew in person. Okay, then yeah. Isn't she like your moderator or something?
She's one of them. We have been wanting to go down there and hang out for a little bit now. So we're going down there to see her. It's going to be me, him, potentially Kyle. Kyle did that thing Kyle always does where he was like super flaky. So I didn't know what Kyle was doing. And I told Christy, hey, if you want, like it seems like Kyle's not coming, you can bring another friend. And then Kyle decided he wanted to come. So now we're figuring that out. We're just going to Michigan, hanging out at an ice cream place, bowling, and doing an escape room. And then, because Caleb's a psychopath, we're coming back all in the same night. Which I think is like... maybe I'm wrong. Is Michigan 3 hours or 5 hours away?
It depends on where you go. Like, I have an aunt that lives in Michigan, and they always try and get me to go up there, and it's only like a couple-hour drive, but they like live fairly close to both the Indiana and Illinois border. So, but if you go like all the way north up into Michigan, like it'd be a much longer drive. So it really just depends on where you're going.
I won't say specifically where we're going, but like I think it's towards we're not going to Detroit. So like I think we're good. It's not going to be like the longest thing. Is that another village over there? What's that? That looks like a building. Although that mountain in general kind of looks weird. It's got floating shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have to look at a map, but I think like Detroit and the area surrounding it is like more northern Michigan.
I know when I first mentioned the idea to Kyle, he wanted to go to Detroit, but that was never on the wavelength. That's so far from where we're going. Oh yeah, there is another village over there. And this seed has a beach here. That's good. That's a good place to get sand. I was beginning to get a little worried sand-wise because I think I had only encountered dirt until now. Like that was the only thing about... Well, there was red sand in the mesa, so either way I would have been fine.
What's Kyle been doing lately?
I mean, Kyle's usual stuff mostly. He's working at Jimmy John's still. Have I told you about that?
He told me about that, like, towards the end of last year.
I worked there too for a little while. I got fired for a very stupid reason, and I feel like if I would have sued the company, I might have had a bit of a case, if I'm being honest, because I kept going in and they kept sending me home just because like they didn't have a ton of business, so like they were like, we can't keep you here, you gotta go. So my hours were supposed to be like part-time, where I was gonna go in and I was gonna like work certain days. Like I didn't have the best hours to begin with, but I would constantly get in and just be sent home, including one day where I got in there for a total, and Caleb timed it, a total of 5 minutes, and then they sent me home. And they didn't pay me until after I got fired. Like, after I got fired, they just didn't pay me, so I like called them and I was like, hey, you didn't pay me at all for my time there. This needs to change. They didn't pay me still. So then I ended up like emailing Jimmy John's, the company, and finally ended up getting my payment. Which, again, wasn't all that much because they really fucked me over. Don't work for Jimmy John's. Just don't. That was such a bad experience. I'm sorry that I dashed your dreams of one day working at a Jimmy John's, Sebastian. Sorry I took that from you.
I don't think I would. I did apply there when I lived in Muncie, but...
I mean, the work environment was fun. The people there were fun. It's just the business side really screwed me over. And then the reason I got fired is because, you know how they kept sending me home?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one day I was sick, and I was kind of annoyed with them. Like, I was like, I feel like shit. They don't want me around the food. I'm not gonna go in just to, like, be sent home again anyways. So I essentially decided I'm not going to work today. I called in, and they had a different manager there than the one I'm used to. That guy's name was, and he doesn't work there anymore. I think I can say his name and be fine. His name was Luke Skywalker, of course. So my manager Luke wasn't there. It was some other guy. And he essentially told me, hey, doesn't matter if you're sick. You gotta come in. Which I'm pretty sure is illegal. But I told him, hey, look, I just can't. Like, I'm not well. You don't want me around the food. I can't go in. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he just ended it there. And apparently, he fired me. Like, apparently he talked to the boss and got me fired for that. Luna says, I heard something about pronouns. Yeah, we referred to you as she. Well, I did. And then I was like, oh, we don't know your pronouns. So I, like, corrected myself a bit. Could you give us your preferred pronouns? Fine, pig. You may have carrot. And you may have carrot. And now you may fuck. Enjoy that.
Yeah, last time I saw Kyle, he took my number down, and then I just never heard anything.
They, them. Got it. Were you expecting a call from him? Should I tell him to call you?
Oh, no. I was just curious what he's been up, doing. Like I said, I haven't, talked to him since, last September.
He started dating a human.
He started dating a human?
Yeah.
Hmm. As opposed to a non-human?
I mean, you know, there are humans and there are Kneales and such. There are things that are not humans. That's mostly a quirk of me talking. I refer to people as human. She's fine. I met her once. His girlfriend's kind of cool. This is my carrot, you fuckers. You're not getting this. This is for me. Follow me all you want. Obsess over the carrot. Waste your life on this. You're not getting it.
Yeah, I don't think I have on Facebook, but I don't get on, I don't use the Facebook app. I just use Messenger.
That's all I use at this point, too. I see no purpose in using actual Facebook.
Yeah, I don't really keep up with any, social media. But, yeah, I saw him last, September before he met a human and begun to date them. And yeah, he was like, oh, yeah, let me get your number.
Do you know the person she ended up dating? He ended up dating? I think he's not going to care if I say her name. Her name is Cadence.
I don't know anybody named Cadence, so no, I don't know them.
I didn't know her either. I knew someone that Danny knew named Cadence, but I don't think they're the same Cadence.
Yeah, I don't know any, so that's an easy no for me.
Die, sheep. All the sheep must die. Interesting name, Cadence? I've heard it before. It's not an uncommon name to my knowledge. I'm Kneale spelled with a K and an E, so I'm used to some weird names though. Seems uncommon? Well, it's probably less common than something like Amy or Stacy. Or Guillermo.
Is that a new thing, or has he been with this human a while?
It's still relatively new.
Hmm.
He He spent some time dating. He actually dated one of Caleb's exes briefly, but he dated his girlfriend he had for like I want to say 2 years. Then he dated Caleb's ex for I want to say 5 months, and I think him and Cadence have been dating for almost a month now. So it's still relatively new. And I'm bad at time, so it might be a little bit less than a month. What are the most common female and male names? Because for some reason when I was like, oh, what's a common name for ladies? Stacy and Amy were the first to come in my mind, and I don't think I have met a Stacy.
It's that incel in you.
Incel?
Yeah.
What? Why? What does that have to do with the name part?
That's what incels refer to women as, is like they Stacy's and Chads.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I just assumed Stacy was a pretty common name.
I don't know the reasoning behind it, but
Me neither. We should meet an incel and find out. I'll call up Chance.
doesn't he have a girlfriend too?
Oh, no, not at all.
Oh.
Not
I don't know why
anymore.
I thought he did, but
Well, he did for a little bit. I'm picking on Chance. He's not an incel. Last I heard about Chance's date life, which admittedly I hear about more often than I'd care to, uh, I believe Chance kind of swore off dating to a degree. Like I believe he's no longer really interested in monogamous relationships, which good for him figuring that out. You know, now I'm just flashing back to all the times I've talked about Chance's like love life, and Jesus, it's more times than I thought. Like when he was dating, let's call her she who must not be named again.
yeah, if I say her name, it has to be her full name because I have to do the voice.
Uh, when he was dating her, uh, we had that running joke because what was the joke? It was something stupid. Wasn't it like you were secretly in love with Chance, so that person he was dating was like your mortal enemy or something?
And then she did turn out to be an enemy. She revealed herself, much like Voldemort in the films and the books upon which they're based.
Yeah, when she pulled out the wand and killed Chance's parents, we really knew. And when she started talking to snakes and stuff, like, honestly, we were really ahead of the curve. So, chat, just so you understand the full context of the joke, we had that thing where, like, Sebastian was pretending to be in love with Chance, so we decided Chance's girlfriend at the time was his mortal enemy. And one day I referred to her as she who must not be named, and Sebastian just outbursted, Voldemort? So then we just kind of started calling her Voldemort as like an inside joke.
Facially, she kind of looked like the guy who played Voldemort too.
Ray Fiennes?
Yeah, I mean when he's like made up to look like Voldemort, I think they have a similar facial structure.
I mean, with this remake they've announced, it's very likely we're going to see a new version of Voldemort. Maybe she should audition. Maybe she could get it.
That would be in line with what I'm expecting from the show.
I kind of hope they do book accurate stuff more. Like I know you didn't mind this as much, but like it did kind of feel like towards the end they stopped giving a shit about the plot a little. Like Harry just pulls out that shard of magical mirror which he just has with no setup or context, and then he can communicate with Aberforth using it. When in the book, like, they set that up and they explained why that was a thing. In the movie, Harry just had a shard of glass in his pocket and just does it with no setup whatsoever. And if you've read the books, you get it, but, like, if you haven't, you have no idea why Harry's doing that.
Yeah, I watched the movies, but it's been like uh basically 4 months ago now, so I don't really remember. But I'm not expecting good things from the show.
I kind of am. I know, like, I know you have your own worries, but I think, like, since it's Harry Potter, and at this point Harry Potter is so beloved, they've got to throw a lot of cash at it. Like, it feels like the budget's probably going to be pretty big. Did you like Hogwarts Legacy?
I mean, it was what I expected. I mean, I feel like it's an average game. I mean, if you like think of it as it's that studio's first ever like big AAA game, I think it's a very, very, very good like first product to put out. But when they do a sequel, they definitely need to like work on the combat, and I definitely would like a better story.
That's one of the things I really like about what I've seen of Jedi Fallen Order. Because I thought like the first game was pretty solid, and now it seems like they've just taken it up to 11. Like you can have different weapons now. You can have like all these customization options, including lightsabers, BD1, Cal as well. You can even customize Cal, which I find kind of hilarious because don't know if people in the chat know this, but Cal Kestis is based off of the real life actor Cameron Monaghan. Like, it's literally just him put into the game. So it's kind of hilarious to see Cameron Monaghan with like a mullet or like a shaved head and a big mustache.
Yeah, there's a trophy for doing something while he has the mullet equipped. Uh, yeah, that first game though, Fallen Order, is genuinely, I think, one of the worst designed games from a level design standpoint. I really enjoyed it. Like I did like the game, but dear God, is it just awful to navigate, and probably the worst mini map of all time. Not even
I
just mini map, but like full map.
I didn't think the levels were bad. I thought they were really hard to navigate. I'm right there with you on that. But I kind of viewed that as like, and maybe I should have been harder on the game for this. I kind of viewed that as a me problem.
It was enough of a problem where they like that was one of the first things they confirmed that they worked on was oh yeah, we have a better map, we have fast travel, like the world is easier to navigate. So it was not just me and it was not just you. Like I'm not even exaggerating. I genuinely believe that game probably has the worst map of all time.
I don't think the levels were bad though. Like I still enjoyed exploring them. I still had a lot of
Yeah,
fun with them. I
I
just thought they
strictly
were a
mean
little
from like
confusing.
a design standpoint. Like they should have, which again that's another studio. They had never done an open world game before, I don't think. So like for a first product, like you're not expecting perfection. And it does seem like they worked on it, but
From what I have seen, which is not a lot, from what I have seen, the lightsaber customization is incredibly in depth now. And I thought it was pretty in depth before. Like I remember bitching a little bit where I was like, you can't customize the single blade. You have to use the double blade once you unlock it. That kind of sucks. But they, first of all, they completely fixed that. Second of all, now there are so many options. Like, after you get these cosmetic options, you can decide, do you want the lightsaber to look like broken-y? Do you want it to look rusty? You can do that for the droid too. You can do that to BD. You can even like do that with some of Cal's clothes. Like, there's ungodly amounts of customization in that game, to the point where like I kind of wonder what they're gonna do for the third one. Like, are they gonna make it where you can just literally like turn Cal's entire design different? I guess at that point, maybe they'll add in more playable characters. That could be cool.
See, if they stick with it being like a Dark Souls light, I think like they'll probably just do like equipment, because that was like the big combat change for this one was they added stances like
Mm-hmm.
Sekiro, and the blaster is like a gun from Bloodborne. Uh, so like if they do continue it just being like a Souls light, I as far as customization, I just think they'd probably go with more equipment, because since they are paying for like his full performance capture, like
Mm-hmm.
they want you to see him.
Well, if they're going with more equipment, though, like what more equipment do you give to a Jedi? Like, he's got a lightsaber, he's got a blaster now.
I mean,
I,
like in the first one, it was okay. You have your choice of a poncho.
oh, you mean outfits?
Yeah, like just different like things he wears. Like I think if because I know that they did do more like hairstyles and stuff with this one. I think like if and when they do a third one, 'cause this one did sell well, like they'll probably just like increase the amount you can customize.
I just don't know how much more they can do with that. Like,
If
more outfits probably are definitely going to happen. I did find it kind of funny in the first game where it's like either you have his default outfit or you wear a poncho, and that's it. Those are Cal's outfits.
if they and then if they do continue on the like just like with each iteration of the Jedi colon games,
Mm.
adding in things from the different like Souls games, I do think the next one they'll probably emulate more Elden Ring and like add like free like transportation of the world, like
Mm.
um
I know
not a
there are
horse
mounts.
obviously, but like
There are mounts in the new game.
that, and then probably a bigger open world, since that was what was pretty praised about Elden Ring.
There are straight up characters that things you can ride that look like chocobos in the game. Uh, what I think they'll add to the third one, and for the record, I don't know that this isn't in the second one because I haven't played it all the way through. There could be other playable characters in that too, for all I know. I doubt it because I feel like I would have heard about it by now, but I doubt it.
I
Um,
think if they do multiple characters, just again, I'm only basing this on them like kind of copying the Souls formula, but like toning it down. I think if they do multiple characters, it'll only be like for like a certain like set piece or like scripted type thing, because like they would I don't
I
see
want to
them
play
like
as Marin.
designing a whole new like and again, if they continue on the Souls trend, I don't know, like I wouldn't see them designing whole new like character movesets and animations. Uh,
Well, maybe that's how they differentiate themselves a little bit from the Souls games, though. Like maybe they do go that route just to be different. I think playing as Marin would be really cool because she's a Night Sister. That's kind of the boat I'm in. I just want to play as her because Night Sister.
there was some game I played recently. Let me go through my trophies. There's something I played
Well,
recently where
real
at
quick,
the end.
the thought I was getting at, where I was like, oh, in the third game, this is what I would do. I don't know if this is in the sequel. It might be, it might not be. I would give Cal dark side. I would make it where Cal has the option to go dark. And you can start equipping stuff like the Force Choke, or maybe even Force Lightning. How do I get out of this hole? I wish to leave.
There was something I played recently. I'm trying to look through my trophies now real quick to see what it was. It's gonna bother me if I can't remember. But where like it did have like something like that, where like you're playing as whoever, and then there was just like certain story moments you would switch, and then you'd switch back. But
I could see that happening in these games.
yeah, I like because they want them to. I don't think they're anywhere near as good, like mechanically as the like Souls games, but since that is what they are like aspiring to be, it to me it just feels like, especially like because they rushed this one out. Like the Jedi Survivor was made in like record time apparently. Like they really like that's why it doesn't run so good, is because they really like rush it out. So I can't see them spending like a ton of time like designing whole new characters, animations, combat, like movesets, customizations when they're spending all the money on Cameron Monaghan.
I don't know. I agree with you in principle for some of it. Which, by the way, how expensive is Cameron Monaghan? Like, don't get me wrong, he is a great actor. He's one of my favorites working right now, but like, he's not like a household name. Like, he's not making that Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, Chris Pine money.
It is full performance capture though, and
That is true.
that does take a big chunk of time.
I'm just saying. I think, like, we've had 2 games now of you're playing as Cal, the fallen Jedi. I could see the third one being like, hey, here's a couple new characters, maybe 2. Maybe 2 new characters. Maybe you'll be able to play as Seer, the other Jedi character. And,
Yeah, the woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if, like, I could see them doing a sequel,
Where am I? I'm lost.
like, again, because it is, like, Star Wars Jedi, and then, like,
That was
whatever the
dumb.
subtitle is. I could see them doing, like, since it is kind of set up like an anthology, I mean, both so far have followed Cal, but, I could see them doing, like, one where you did play as somebody else, but I don't see them doing, like, a sequel where it's okay, you can play as Cal and then also like 2 or 3 other people in addition. Like I do think if they did multiple characters, it would either be just like I said, certain like set piece type things, or they would just focus on somebody else completely. Which I don't
Kind of
think would be
like
the worst thing in the world.
Kind of like what they did with Ragnarok and Atreus.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say Atreus got a good chunk of screen time in that game, though. So that's probably what I would be rooting for if they did other characters. Something like that. I don't think I would want it where it's like, oh yeah, and you can choose to be either Cal or this other character. Nah, it's cool if they have their own levels. Although, maybe at the end it'd be neat if there's a free play mode and you can go through some of the other levels with some of the other characters. Luna is still here. You're a trooper, Luna. You've stuck around for almost 4 hours of stream. Damn. By the way, I am going to have to get off at 3. That is the time.
I can't imagine Kneale or me or the combination is that interesting to listen to.
You'd be surprised. Apparently, like a lot of people listen to my streams right before they go to bed.
Well, it's about noon for them.
You don't know their schedule. They may sleep at noon. Who's to say? I've gone to sleep at noon before. I'm basically just fucking around now because it's only like 10 more minutes before it's time to end the old stream. So I'm just kind of screwing around. Maybe we can get some fish. I'm wide awake, TBH. No, you're sleepy. Let me win this argument. Change your state of sleepiness so I can win the debate.
Win the debate of, oh yeah, I put people to sleep. Oh yeah, it's real interesting.
Yeah,
I'll let you have that one.
Let me have it. Let me win in this tiny thing that no one cares about.
It's like the debate of I said, like, I don't think me or you or both of us are that interesting. And your comeback was, oh no, we are. I put people right to sleep. Like, okay. Solid argument.
Yeah, no, this is a very dumb hill to die on, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna die on this hill. I mean, we have some repeating people. Like, I would say we're interesting enough. People love the giraffe episode. People still quote that to me, by the way. So, like, we did something right in that one. Did you ever end up seeing that movie with fucking
Idris Elba?
Yeah, Idris Elba and I almost said elbow because you did. Idris Elba and the the lion.
I did not. I don't. I don't watch a whole lot of stuff. Especially that.
I have yet to see it, but apparently the lion is just fully in CG, and I think I watched one scene where he's like breathing a lot and he's really afraid of the lion, and I just fought in my head of you being like, why is he so scared?
I do like Idris Elba, but that's just such a dumb premise for a movie.
I don't think it's dumb. I think it's scary if you're being chased by a lion, though. Like, if you're trapped in the desert or the jungle, I can't remember which it was still, but if you're trapped there, and there's a lion trying to eat you, that's scary. That's not a bad premise for a movie.
Yeah, but that's a whole lot of ifs. It's very difficult for me to put myself in that situation.
You don't think you could be in the jungle one day and get attacked by a lion?
No.
Is this because you don't go to the jungle? People go to the jungle.
Even if I went to the jungle, I wouldn't put myself in a situation where I could realistically be attacked by a lion.
So you wouldn't go camping?
Yeah, I'm not just gonna go like camp out in like I'm assuming it's just Africa, so I'm not gonna go camping in like middle of nowhere Africa because we don't have lions here unless in a zoo.
Well, there are people who I know the what is it? The Death Valley Desert. I've heard of people going out and camping out there, and the place is literally called Death Valley.
Well, yeah, but that's because of heat. We don't have like lions there.
Well, yeah, but there are rattlesnakes. I wouldn't want to fuck with a rattlesnake. Would you want to fuck with a rattlesnake? You think you could beat one in a fight?
That depends on what I have on my person.
Nothing. The rules of the game are you have your fists and your wits.
I mean, if I find a rock, I'm pretty sure I could beat a rattlesnake, yeah.
I don't even know if I could with a rock. Rattlesnakes are kind of quick. Like, they lunge.
like,
I'm
I
also
don't know if
terrified of snakes, so I'm biased here no matter what.
I don't know the snakes I've encountered in my life, which hasn't been like a ton. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm
Mm.
an expert on snakes and their like attack patterns, but the snakes I've seen in my life, like they just kind of sit until you get up to them and then they move. And
Mm.
I have seen
Oh,
like videos of rattlesnakes where they do lunge, but they like move slowly to get to a point where they can lunge. So if I can get like a big rock, I do think I could get the edge on it.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near a rattlesnake, truthfully and honestly. They
Yeah, I
scare
wouldn't
the
like want
fuck out
to.
of me.
Like it's not like something I would like volunteer to do. But
Which really sucks, because everything I've heard about Death Valley, it sounds really fucking cool. But I will not get near a place where it's like, oh yeah, there's tons of snakes. You'll see a snake every time you come here. No,
see, I don't
that
think
is
any
not a place
desert
for Kneale.
environment sounds cool, personally.
I really like I really like weird structures and stuff, and Death Valley definitely has a few of those if you go out far enough. I would love to go to the Grand Canyon one day. I used to think the idea was lame, but now that I'm older, I think it would be kind of cool to explore a place that looks like that. Just 'cause it would be so different from anything I've seen in real life before. That's kind of the same reason I want to go whale watching one day, just because like, you know, one day I am going to die, and all of my memories and my experiences are the only ones I'm gonna get. And I am kind of curious
But those
what a
die
whale
too.
looks like how big a whale is. What dies are experiences?
Yeah. When you die, those are also gone.
Way to make death scarier, brah. I kid. Truthfully and honestly, um, which I guess is my phrase for this episode because I've said that a couple times. Um, I think that like for me, I just kind of want to do a bunch of fun stuff now before I die. I kind of have a bucket list and stuff. Was gonna ask if you played Destiny 2. I
I
do
did when it
not.
came out.
I have never played Destiny. You tried to get me into Destiny for a little bit.
I was very, very, very into Destiny 1. Uh, and then
You got to
I
beta test it.
bought, yeah, I mean, I pre-ordered that. I went to the midnight for that. That was in the gap between when I was expelled and when I was doing online school. And my online school, I was like, my aunt's boyfriend, I would just play Destiny with him. Uh,
I remember I was at church camp because that was still when I was very Christian, and you tried to get me to ditch church camp to come play Destiny with you.
and then when I bought a PlayStation 4 Pro, it came with Destiny 2. Back before that was free to play. So I played it when it came out, but then I just kind of fell out of it. I didn't attach as much to Destiny 2 as I did Destiny 1.
I think someone in my life got really into Destiny too. Wasn't Peter Dinklage involved with Destiny at one
Dinklebot.
point?
Yeah, the
Dinglebot?
Dinklebot. He was Destiny 1, and then they recast him.
That sounds like an episode of Fairly Odd Parents where Timmy's dad kills Dinkelberg and replaces him with a robot. Apparently Luna's
Uh,
been playing Destiny since the beginning. You know what's weird? When we did eventually leave, like, church camp, because we did end up leaving early, but we didn't leave to go play Destiny with you. We left for a different reason. So we ended up playing Mortal Kombat X that day. I think that had just came out around that time too. Which, new Mortal Kombat on the way. I'm pretty pumped for that.
Unfortunately.
Oh, come on. Maybe this one will be alright. Maybe this one will be better.
I get why they did Mortal Kombat instead of Injustice, but
It
like,
feels a little too soon. I get you.
Well, it does feel really soon, number one. Number two, they've kind of butchered the story. Like, it's just really hard to care when every new game's like, oh, we're gonna reboot the timeline. Next game comes out, oh, we're gonna reboot the timeline. Nothing really matters. And then also the gameplay, like, was for Mortal Kombat 11 was such a step down from Injustice 2.
Mm.
It's very difficult for me to be excited.
My hope, my truest of hopes, is since, which by the way, Caleb texted me, apparently I have another 20 minutes. He keeps changing it. My truest of hopes when it comes to this is I kind of hope they work on the combat a little bit, spruce that up some. I really hope that if they're going to keep like the gear system and the customization, they go back to Injustice. But when it comes to the story, I think we might not be getting a reboot, honestly. Because if you'll remember, the teaser is like a grain of sand implying the hourglass. So like it seems like maybe they might be continuing where they left off. And maybe we're going to start in this new world where like Kung Lao appears to be the main character, but maybe the conflict will still be about the hourglass. So, I don't know, it might not be as bad as we're thinking. Plus, I'm gonna be real, I'm just looking on the bright side with it. I'm just excited that potentially I'm gonna be able to play as Ermac in a Mortal Kombat game again.
See, Mortal Kombat is the fighter like I like the best, obviously. But and I mean we haven't seen anything on it yet, so this is just an early judgment. But just based on Mortal Kombat 11, like I'm really expecting Street Fighter because Street Fighter, Tekken, and Mortal Kombat are probably all going to end up coming out this year if they don't get delayed. Uh, and I'm kind of expecting Street Fighter to end up being the best of the three.
Street Fighter looks pretty good right now. That's coming out soon, right?
Yeah. June or July, I believe.
Everything I've seen on it, it looks pretty good. I gotta be real, I'm not really into Street Fighter, so like, I don't know if this is really gonna like make me into Street Fighter. Whereas with Mortal Kombat, I am like, I'm a fan of the lore, I'm a fan of the characters, I'm just a big old Mortal Kombat fan. Which was your doing. You only have yourself to blame for that.
Yeah, like I said, it's always been like the fighter I like the only one I really keep up with. Which sucks to like be a fan. Like it's kind of like the Witcher Netflix series and Henry Cavill. It's like when you're a fan of something, but the people who are working on it are like so obviously are not. Where it's like they have no idea what to do. So each game's reboot. Like
maybe we'll get lucky. I think they learned a bit more about their fan base with the last one too. Like, with the whole Melina debacle.
that and another big. I remember when it came out and Injustice 2 like had a higher player base than Mortal Kombat 11.
Oof. I'm optimistic, I guess. I think the thing I'm most excited about is just seeing some of the characters that weren't in 12 come back and get another shot. Like, I miss Ermac so desperately. Ermac wasn't even my main, Quan Chi was, but I really liked Ermac. I hope Jade doesn't get cut, though, because now that I know her moveset, and now that I've played as that character a lot, I really want Jade to come back. But I did prepare for this, since I was worried all my mains would get cut, I was like, okay, well, let's find a classic Mortal Kombat character that I can get kind of good with. And I did that. So now I also play Sub-Zero. So in the event none of them come back, at least I have Sub-Zero. Your two are Kung Lao and Sub as well, right?
Yeah, those are the two. I'll like play through any of the games, and then I'll like see who pops up. Like in Mortal Kombat X, I liked Aaron Black a lot. In 11, I played a lot of Rain and Liu Kang. Game by game, but it'll change. But Kung Lao and Sub-Zero are generally the two I'll play in any of them.
If there is a God, and he is listening, Ed Boon, I would like nothing more than Jade to come back. Just because I really latched onto that character. She was really fun.
Again, it sucks to say, but Ed Boon does not care at all anymore.
Well, who knows? We'll see. Maybe this one will be different. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I'm optimistic going in. I'm kind of with you though. I kind of wish they would have done another Injustice or maybe even just something new. Like it is kind of weird to me that it's Mortal Kombat again.
Ed Boon himself has said he doesn't want to do Mortal Kombat anymore. But then when he he put some idea online of what he did want to do, like on his Twitter, and everybody thought it was dumb. Mm-hmm. But he still wants to make money, obviously. So he just does Mortal Kombat. I'm not just saying he doesn't care. Like he genuinely has said he doesn't want to do Mortal Kombat anymore. But they were doing a back and forth between Mortal Kombat and Injustice,
which made the whole situation more fresh.
But then when the Warner Brothers Discovery merger was happening, the guy who was in charge of Discovery, who for some reason took over everything, they were exploring selling off some of their video game studios, and if they sold NetherRealm wouldn't have the license to do DC characters if they weren't under Warner Brothers anymore. So they own the Mortal Kombat IP, so just do that. Since you own that, you can sell it no matter what happens.
I think they should do something new soon, truthfully.
Like I said, I get why they do it, because it is a money thing, but I'm not really super excited. I'll wait to see it, though. I'll reserve judgment until I actually see the game, but
I remember he was talking about potentially doing either a Marvel or a Marvel versus DC thing at one point. And that's kind of the white whale I'm wishing for now. I think a NetherRealm Studio Marvel fighting game could be really cool.
I don't mean to be the Debbie Downer, but I do think there's a 0% chance that happens.
He mentioned in an interview that he had a meeting about it. And maybe that was him being teasy, maybe he had a meeting and it didn't go well and he just didn't mention that part, but he definitely, you can Google it, Ed Boon confirmed there was a meeting about it.
Yeah, I've seen him say stuff like that, but he is, number one, he's a big troll. Sometimes he just says stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like number 2, he's like made it very clear he doesn't really want to be doing what he's doing.
Did he say he doesn't want to do fighting games anymore, or he doesn't want to do MK anymore?
I think it was both. I know he definitely like said Mortal Kombat. Like he said, like he put something like, "Oh, I've been doing this for like since the early '90s, so almost 30 years or whatever." This has been like at least a couple of years ago. I think it was after 11 came out, but I
Mm.
might have my timeline wrong slightly.
Are there any characters you're rooting for to get back? Because I know you're still gonna play the game at the very least.
Yeah, I'll have to see. Like honestly, I disliked 11 so much that if when they're showing like gameplay and showing off the like gameplay systems for it, if it looks like
11.
more 11 than anything else, I'll buy it eventually, but definitely not on release.
Did you get the platinum for it?
No, 11. I was actually at one point I explored going for the platinum for 11, just because it's not that difficult. It's just time consuming. But again, if it's time consuming and I'm not enjoying it, I'm not gonna go for it.
I got kind of into 11 recently, but not really because it's 11. I think I got into it just because I wanted to play a fighting game, and that was the most recent NetherRealms fighting game. So that's the one I got. Uh, I remember when we were living together, back when we had that apartment, I got very into Injustice 2 for a while, too.
I was really into Injustice 2. Like that came out during my senior year. So I was really into Injustice 2 from my senior year up until the point I moved back. Like I moved out of that apartment. So that was like a solid 2 years. That game, like Injustice 2 had legs, whereas Mortal Kombat 11 like died immediately.
You stuck with that game for a long ass time.
And it wasn't
I,
just me. Like I
mm,
said, that when Mortal Kombat 11 came out, Injustice had a higher player base.
I'm also going to say some of the characters in Injustice 2 are probably a lot cooler than, like, some of the characters in MK. Like, who was the last DLC character for MK? Was it Melina? Like, was it
I
them just giving people what they wanted?
I genuinely don't remember.
Well, Melina was cool. The last Injustice character was the fucking Ninja Turtles, so that was kind of cooler to me. The DLC was really neat. They added in Black Manta. They added in, like, I thought Enchantress was kind of lame, but like her moveset was fine.
Red Hood, Starfire, Hellboy, uh,
I just wanted Zatanna
Enchantress.
back. That was my big one. I wanted Red Hood in, of course, but I also wanted Zatanna. And when they added in Red Hood, I didn't end up liking him all that much. His moveset wasn't that cool.
Yeah, that's like I said, that's Mortal Kombat has always been like the only fighter I've ever really cared about. I don't like the characters of Street Fighter. I don't know anything about the story, but Street Fighter 5 sucked.
Mm.
I don't know if you ever played it, but it was awful.
I heard it sucked at launch, and then by the end of its run, it was a pretty solid game.
Yeah, but its run just ended like a year or two ago. So it took like if it takes you like 5 years to get there, like
It's not a great game.
um but so yeah, Street Fighter 5 was terrible. Um with this one, like they have recognized that and seem to be improving it. So like no matter what, I'm not getting it at launch because like I said, I don't care about Street Fighter. But just if I had to guess, because I don't have a lot of faith in NetherRealm, I do expect that out of like I think it's Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6, and Mortal Kombat 12. I'm without seeing anything about Mortal Kombat, I am expecting Street Fighter to be the best.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll. I don't know. Maybe they'll fix it. Maybe they won't. I heard they hired a couple new people at NetherRealm, so maybe that'll change things a little. Maybe it won't.
See, They can hire like whoever. It's the people at the top who need to go. Like the overall like designers, the writers. Like
I know they're not gonna do this, but I would actually probably like it if they cut some of the like original combat characters to add in some new ones. Like, I'm sure people will get mad at me even for saying it, but like, I wouldn't mind it if Raiden and Liu Kang were not in the new game. They're going to be, but I wouldn't mind it if they got cut.
Raiden, I wouldn't care. Liu Kang, like I would
Story-wise, I would kind of like Liu Kang to be there, I guess.
Yeah, I do think Liu Kang kind of has to be there, whereas Raiden, like, there's more leeway in him maybe not being front and center.
I'm speaking strictly as like from a move set thing and from like a character select screen. I'd like it if they focused on either bringing back some classic Mortal Kombat characters, like some really old ones, or maybe pivot and add in a bunch of new ones into this game. Because there were only like 3 new ones in 12, right? Like, weren't there only like 3?
I don't remember, but
There was Garrus the Sandman, Chronica, the other Elder God, the Collector, who was like a dude with 4 arms, and I guess if you want to count her, Frost, but Frost was more of a combination of Cyber Sub-Zero and Frost.
yeah, their track record with new characters, I don't think has been like super great recently.
Yeah, in terms of character, they're not great. Although, Takeda, I mean, Takeda's pretty damn cool.
Like, none of the combat kids really felt developed as characters. Like, some of them had cool moves, but
Didn't you like
like
Kunjin?
I liked playing Takeda and Kunjin, but like as characters, like they were all just kind of bland. And then Kunjin out of nowhere, it's just, oh, by the way, guys, I'm gay, just to throw that in.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
just
around the time when
given
every franchise was like, oh, we need a gay character, and it was
they
always
saw
kind of
like
forced.
he had no personality, so they just threw that in to give him personality. Like they didn't do anything with any of the characters.
I mean, I think Takeda not liking his dad at first had a little bit of that. Like, I think of all of them, Takeda was the coolest one, if you ask me. But, like, I don't die hard love any of the combat kids, except for maybe Takeda, just because his origin's kind of neat. If I got the choice, I think I would want Takeda back over Kenshi, for example.
Shit, I'd probably take Kenshi, but
I like
I
Kenshi
do
a
like
lot, but
the older
love
games
Takeda.
much more.
Takeda's moveset is really fun too, and like the whip weapons are really neat. I hope to God the customization is better in MK12, because God, that infuriated me with 11. Because it was like, okay, you have 3 different character customization options. And with some of the characters, that leaves a lot of room to make something unique. Like, for example, you can change the mask of the ninjas. You can change Joker's headwear so he can have, like, a hat and stuff. Then you have, like, a skin outfit, like, for, like, the shirt and pants. So, for some of that worked. Except for some of the options, they made it something stupid. Like, for example, with the character I think who has some of the worst customization in the game, Jackie, you can choose what gloves she wears, what other gloves she wears, and what weapon she has. And that's pretty much it for Jackie. I'll chat with that. It is now 3:19, about to be 3:20. So I think we are going to go ahead and raid out. Thank you so much for watching, specifically you, Luna. Thank you, Luna and Heavenly Flower Design, for following during this stream. And, thanks for sticking around. And if you learn one thing from this stream, let it be that you should never, ever, ever in your goddamn life interact with another human being ever. All right, bye. Oh, and big thanks to Beck for rating. Thank you for reminding me of that, Luna. Got that right at the end, thank God.